And while the true test of the day's success will be in the final tally, a series of snafus in both states didn't inspire confidence. In New York City, voters are more or less used to some kind of foul-up at the hands of the city's Board of Elections. Many told Politico they braved the threat of the coronavirus because they were never sent a mail-in ballot. Brooklyn resident Jean Desrosiers is undergoing dialysis, putting him at high risk from COVID-19. He was among 1.7 million New Yorkers who requested a ballot, though like many others, his never arrived. "Even if I can't walk, I'm going to come out," said Desrosiers, who uses a cane. Several polling sites around the city reported higher than expected in-person turnout on Tuesday, as voters cast ballots in congressional primaries, state legislative races and a presidential primary postponed from April. At multiple sites, voters were given only part of the ballot, receiving a sheet for the presidential primary but not local races, or vice versa. Due to the pandemic, a number of poll site locations were changed at the last minute. Other poll sites failed to open on time, amid worries that poll workers would not be able to get to work for their 5 a.m. start time because of overnight subway shutdowns. "Everybody should be upset, especially because a lot of the workers are elderly," said Ebony Charles, who voted in Brooklyn after requesting but failing to receive an absentee ballot. "It's either incompetence, corruption or both." It was one of several sites across the 5 boroughs that drew a significant turnout despite the turn toward voting by mail. "This morning when we opened at 6 a.m., we had a long line," said Reverend Antijuanetia Etienne, a translator and inspector at the site. Sheena Enriquez, 35, showed up at a Brooklyn polling site after not receiving the absentee ballot she requested 2 weeks ago, only to be told her name was not on the voter list. "I don't know where the disconnect is," said Enriquez, who eventually submitted an affidavit ballot. Some voters chose to skip the absentee process and cast their ballots in person. "I enjoy the ritual of going in to vote. It's a very mundane but kind of an important right as an American," said Jake Schiffman, 29, of Queens. Others were not confident that absentee ballots would be properly counted. "I'm old school, so I'd be wondering if it's going to get there, if it actually gets counted," said Luella Jones, 70, who voted in Brooklyn. The worst fears of widespread voter disenfranchisement did not come to pass in Kentucky, though the state had its hitches. Earlier in the week, some national Democrats registered concerns over voter suppression, because there were only about 200 polling places in the state, down from the usual 3,700. The cities of Louisville and Lexington each only had one physical, in-person polling place on Election Day.